Folks, welcome back to Joel's Music Tips, number 19. Motifs, particularly in jazz. What is a motif? How to make one, how to put it into a song, and how to develop it. Well, a motif is just an idea. It doesn't have to be a musical idea. I mean, it's just a general word for having some little nugget of a structure or an idea that is kind of a building block and it can be developed. So like a verbal or a kind of social interactive motif might be like if you're hanging out with friends at a bar and you make like a butt joke, right? Just a stupid butt joke, but then somehow you keep coming up with butt jokes the whole night and they get more elaborate and you use different words for butt, or you like do alliteration where you do puns involving butt, and they get funnier and funnier. They develop, or you get drunker and they seem, they could get stupider. But it's a little harder in jazz because, well, I mean, granted, people might be drinking, but probably in the span of a given performance, people will have a pretty uniform level of sobriety. So that's not really a factor. We want to find a motif and develop it, and it doesn't just have to be jazz, but rock and folk and music like that, with all the just the obvious things that those art forms have going for them. Don't always have to rely on a motif. If you just kind of just everything from the arm and the sustain and the big sound and the amps. Jazz doesn't have the benefit of that, so they have to rely on all these little micro movements and nitty gritty stuff. Let's talk about jazz. A scenario might be you're playing a jazz solo, right? It's a jazz standard. You're recording, or maybe you're just a beginner. You're at a jam session. You don't know even necessarily how to play jazz that well. There are arpeggios you're supposed to play. Right? But that's pretty boring. Right? Playing scales, playing arpeggios. You're not going to have a big audience. Forget about getting laid or anything like that. And you can't really do the arm movements and all the sustain and stuff, because jazz is moving so fast you just don't have time to do all that. So a great thing to do in lieu of that is motifs. Come up with a little idea, just like the butt joke. So you want a butt joke for the guitar, a butt joke for jazz. And it can be a simple rhythmic sequence, some kind of melodic shape, and you just repeat it. It's like a building block. It's like Legos. You're just like, I don't know if it's like Legos exactly. It's like a butt joke, basically. And I'm just going to play an example because I can't really, I have nothing more to say about it. So you're playing all the things you are, and you're going to play a little motif. And I'll just pick one. Let's say, and just come up with it on the spot. You might just start playing, and you come up with this little. It's mostly a rhythmic idea, but it has a melodic quality. Like so it's a little wiggly, kind of going back and forth between a couple of notes, and then to some low note, right? You get a lot of mileage out of that. So here's an example.